Radhe Radhe, Dandavat Pranam.
Dandavat Pranam.
Welcome to Sri Sri Radha Vinu Bihari Mandir, Gopinath Bhavan, Sri Vrindavan Dham. Srila Gurudev ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Rupananda Guru Varga ki jai, Pati Pavan Shri Nityananda Prabhu ki jai, Prem Purushottam Shachinandan Gaur Hari ki jai, Radha Vinu Bihari Ju ki jai, Radha Ramana Ju ki jai, Giriraj Maharaj ki jai, Harinam Sankirtan ki jai, Hare Krishna Mahamantra ki jai, Gaura Bhakta Vrinda ki jai, Shri Gaura Premanande Hari Hari Gaur.
Radhe Radhe.
Radhe Radhe. So we will begin with Mangalacharan, page 1 of this book, Shri Gauriya Giti Gucha, Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam.
Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Guru Vaisnava Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sabhagano Raghunatham Vitam Kansajivam Sabhetam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahavana Lalita Shri Vishakanditangsra Om Jnanatirandharasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Namo Vishnupadaya Radhikaya Priyatmane Shri Srimad Bhaktivedanta Narayan Namine Shri Krishna Lila Katane Sudaksham Odanya Madhurya Gunashya Yuktam Varamarinyam Purusham Mahantam Narayanam Tvam Shirasam Namami Trigandinam Bhakta Shiromanincha Shri Krishna Padam Chiritaita Vritti Chaitanya Lila Vrita Sarasaram Narayanam Tvam Satatam Prapadye Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Presthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Namaha Vishnupadaya Gaurapresthaya Bhutale Shri Srimad Bhakti Pragya Keshava Niti Namine Bhakti-bhakti-charitraya Svashritanam Shapaline Jivanute Savartayo Shri Rama Premadayine Namaha Vishnupadaya Krishna Presthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Niti Namine Shri Varshabharati Devi Daikaya Kripabhale Krishna Sambandha Vidyana Daine Prabhave Namaha Madhuryo Jvala Premadhya Shri Rupananda Bhaktida Shri Gaur श्रीमूर्तये दिनकारिणे रूपानुगनिरुद्धावो सिद्धान्तध्वन्तहारिणे नमो गौरकिशोराय साक्षाद्वैलभ्यमूर्तये विप्रलम्भारसम्बोधे पदम्बुजाय ते नमः नमो भक्तिविनोदाय सच्चिदानन्दनामिने गौराशक्तिस्वरूपाय रूपानुगम्बराय ते गौराविर्भावभूमे स्वं निर्दिष्टा सजनप्रिया वैष्णवः सर्वभौमश्री जगन्नाथाय ते नमः वंशाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपासिन्धुभ्येव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः नमो महावदन्याय कृष्णप्रेमप्रदायते कृष्णाय कृष्णचैतन्य नाम्ने गौरत्विषे नमः हे कृष्ण करुणा सिन्धो दीनबन्धो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिकान्तो राधाकान्तं नमोऽस्तुते तप्तकञ्चन गौराङ्गी राधे वृन्दावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये जयतां सुरलोकङ्गो मम मन्दं पते गति मत्सर्वस्वत्पदम्बोजो राधामदनमोहनो दिव्यवृन्दारण्यकल्पद्रुमः श्रीमद्रत्नागारसिंहासनस्थो श्रीराधा श्रीलगोविन्ददेव कृष्णानिधिः सेव्यमानुस्मरामि श्रीमद्रसरसारम्भे वंशिवत्ततस्थितः कर्षन्नेनुस्वरैर्गोपी गोपीनाथश्रियेषु नः वृन्दाय तुलसीदेव्यै प्रियायै केशवस्य च कृष्णभक्तिप्रदे देवी सत्यवत्यै नमो नमः पञ्चतत्त्वात्मकं कृष्णं भक्तरूपस्वरूपकं भक्तावतारं भक्ताख्यं नमामि भक्तशक्तिकम् जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासरि गौर भक्तवृंद चेतोदर्पणमार्जनं भवमहागावाग्निर्वापनं श्रेयःकैरवचन्द्रिकावितरणं विद्यावधूजीवनम् आनन्दं बुद्धिवर्धनं प्रतिपदं पूर्णामृतास्वादनं सर्वात्मा सपनं परं विजयते श्रीकृष्ण संकीर्तनम् हरे नाम हरेर्नामेव केवलम् कलो नस्त्येव 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 गतिरन्यथा हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे
Guru Charana Kamal Bhajaman. Page 359 in this book, or if you don't have the book, Jiva Pavana Prabhu always very kindly and mercifully posts the bhajan in the comment section on the thread of this post. Go to scroll down or scroll up to the most recent comment and you will find it there, and then you can follow along with us. He posts it along with its translation and oftentimes along with so much amazing, wonderful and sweet nectar. So thank you, Prabhu, for that.
Dandavat pranam.
Dandavat
Thank you.
pranam.
We have our team going here. 359.
359.
Shri Guru Charana Kamala Bhajaman. Shri Guru
Charana
Guru Charana Kamala Bhajaman. Charana
you.
So I have one request. Maybe if there's any good Mridanga player out there, Narada Muni or anyone else who might be present, even though we can't hear it from here, but if you play Mridanga along, that would be really nice. Because I have recorded many albums in the past, I was reading that with the faster internet speeds that are coming up in the future, which we won't discuss in the moment, that you will be able to actually work together from multiple sources around the world, and even if you have to be in quarantine from each other, still you can perform live music together. So 10 or 20 or 30 different people can be in an ensemble together. I can be playing harmonium here, Sudevi can be up there, Narada Muni can be over there, another one can be in another country over there, and everyone can do kirtan together virtually, and it will all be on time. So that's something interesting. One thing I wanted to say, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Prabhupada he was much more concerned about the Brihad Mridanga than even building temples. He said if it's necessary to sell the bricks of the temples in order that the Brihad Mridanga can continue resounding. What is that Brihad Mridanga? The printing press. Then he would not hesitate to do so. The printing press means to distribute transcendental knowledge, distribute transcendental literature. And we could just imagine how our Guru Varga would be with the current opportunity. The internet would be their Brihad Mridanga's Brihad Mridanga. They would want all devotees flooding the waves with Krishna instead of all kinds of other things. It's the only cure for everything. So they would want it to go out more and more and more. And the more who share, this is really Namahatta, what Bhaktivedanta Thakur predicted. That each person will feel inspired and they will share it with their group. So maybe we cannot all be together as in person, but individually we can share with our group and then they can be inspired and share with their group. And this was also envisioned by Srila Bhaktivedanta Thakur. Namahatta, what is it? The network marketing of the holy name. So one of the reasons I began doing this, because we weren't regularly publishing these programs. For years, 20 years we've been doing these programs, but I began doing it not as a medium to become a de facto presenter of this, but also to be an encouraging aspect that others can also share. Any quotes or anything, pictures of our Guru Varga, pictures of Krishna with any beautiful quote. Today is Ekadashi for us and Jhulan Yatra, the beginning of the first day of swinging Radha Govinda. So we will be swinging the camera back and forth so that you'll be able to see them like they're swinging, the virtual swinging. And so there's so much transcendental information to share. Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Prabhupada said that from the transcendental realm, there's so much mundane information that's going on constantly at every moment. What is it? That Daily Mail? Daily Mail?
You just said from the
No, I know. That's why I said sorry. From the Daily Mail, they're publishing constant, non-stop nonsense. Every moment. Tons of newspapers in this material world, but the transcendental realm has unlimited transcendental information. So Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Prabhupada said, regarding topics of Krishna consciousness, we should be able to publish newspapers and articles at every moment of the transcendental information, which is millions of times more than anything of this material world. And it's also millions of times more beneficial, pleasing, attractive, beautiful, and liberating. So now we will call out for the mercy of the Vaishnavas. Should we do that in the form of Shuddha Bhakata Charanarenu?
Oh yeah.
Because today's Ekadashi, and the first line is about the glory of Vaishnavas.
So it's page 216 in the songbook, and it starts Suddha.
Shuddha Bhakata Charanarenu. 216, or whatever Jiva Pavana Prabhu puts in the comment. Oh, I might need another bottle. Donkey bed.
Shuddha Bhakata Charanarenu Bhajanoyanu Shuddha Bhakata Charanarenu Shudha Bhakata Charanarenu Bhajanayanu Mula. Shudha Bhakata Charanarenu Bhajanayanu Mula.
I don't know how to play in this key. One second. Okay. Sorry about that. And we can't sing with the tambura, so here we go.
Shudha Bhakata Charanarenu Bhajanayanu Mula. Shudha Bhakata Charanarenu Bhajanayanu Mula. Bhakata Seva Parama Siddhi Premalati Karamula. Bhakata Seva Parama Siddhi Premalati Karamula. Shudha Bhakata Charanarenu Bhajanayanu Mula. Charanarenu Bhajanayanu Mula. Madhavati Bhakti Janani Jatane Palata Gori. Madhavati Bhakti Janani Jatane Palata Gori. Krishna Vasati Vasati Gori Paramaya Gori Gori. Krishna Vasati Vasati Gori Paramaya Gori Gori. Gaurayama Jesavasthane Karana Brahmandarange. Gaurayama Jesavasthane Karana Brahmandarange. Sesapasthano Heri Moyami Pranani Bhagata Sange. Sesapasthano Heri Moyami Pranani Bhagata Sange. Mridangavado Shunite Mono Avasara Sada Jache. Mridangavado Shunite Mono Avasara Sada Jache. Gaura Vihito Kirtana Shuni Anande Hridoyo Nache. Gaura Vihito Shuni Anande Hridoyo Nache. Shudha Bhakata Charanarenu Bhajanayanu Mula. Shudha Bhakata Charanarenu Bhajanayanu Mula. Yugalamurti Dekhiya Mola Paramayananda Hoya. Yugalamurti Dekhiya Mola Paramayananda Hoya. Prasada Seva Gorite Hoya Sakala Prapancha Jayo. Prasada Seva Gorite Hoya
Nitai Padakamala Koti Chandra Shushitala.
Page 58.
Page 58.
It starts with Nitaipada, Nitai Pada.
Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri
Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda
Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasani Gaur Bhakta
Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasani
ब्रजे राधा कृष्ण पावे
Page 72 starts Manare.
What page again?
72.
72.
72.
Mm. 72. 72. 72. 72. 72. 72. 72. 72. 72. 72. 72. 72. 72. 72. 72. 72. 72. 72. 72. 72. 72. 72. 72. 72. 72. 72. 72. 72. 72. 72. 72. 72. 72. 72. 72. 72. 72. 72. 72. 72. 72. 72. 72. 72. 72. 72. 72. 72. 72. 72. 72. 72. 72. 72. 72. 72. 72. 72. 72. 72. 72. 72. 72. 72. 72. 72. 72. 72. 72. 72. 72. 72. 72. 72. 72. 72. 72. 72. 72. 72. 72. 72. 72. 72. 72. 72. 72. 72. 72. 72. 72. 72. 72. 72. 72. 72. 72. 72. 72. 72. 72. 72. 72. 72. 72. 72. 72. 72. 72. 72. 72. 72. 72. 72. 72. 72. 72. 72. 72. 72. 72. 72. 72. 72. 72. 72
Gurudeva
Krishna. Navanirada Nindita Kantidaram Rasasagara Nagara Bhupavaram. Hopefully it's in here. It's always been in the songbooks. Let's see if it's there. Nava. It is 295. Yeah, it's long. We'll do it all together, but I'm going to just make it a little bit higher. Hopefully I can sing. Page 295, Navanidana Nindita. Is it there?
Yeah.
Shiro
want to try something we have not done before?
You're gonna do it.
No. See, the last time we spoke with Gurudev
374.
about making a CD, because he used to tell us what to sing on the CDs, and he used to talk about it with us. So we asked him, we told him we were planning to do another Braj Bhajan CD, which we still have not done since that time. And we asked him which songs we should sing on the CD. Because he used to tell us, you sing it like on your chidi. So, and he's like, I hear everywhere, you know so many songs, not only this one or that one. So then, when we asked him, we found it quite interesting. Srila Gurudev is so one-pointed towards Srimati Radhika that he named 7 bhajans, Hindi bhajans, off the top of his head, and every single one of them was a Radhika bhajan. So he's like, Choti si Kishori Radhe Tere Charanau ki Radha Jhulana Padharo, etc., etc. So we're going to sing Radhe Jhulana Padharo because today is Jhulan Yatra here, the day that they swing Shri Shri Radha Govinda, Radha Vino Bihari.
Today begins the swing festival.
Today begins the swing festival. It's quite popular here in Braj, this bhajan, but still, I'm hoping one day to become a true Brajvasi, and this will come very naturally for me. So 374, Radhe Jhulana Padharo.
They don't have it yet.
You don't have it yet? R-A-D-H-E J-H-U-L-A-N-A P-A-D-H-A-R-O. Radhe Jhulana Padharo.
Because you couldn't find it, and so I'll just read it very quickly. O Radha, go and sit on the swing. Low rain clouds have come and filled the sky. Give up your sulky mood, O friend. Don't be stubborn like this. You are the dear, highly intelligent daughter of King Vrishabhanu. Decorate yourself with 16 kinds of ornaments and line your eyes with kajal. Don your 5-colored sari and color yourself with a thin veil, dark veil. Your playful beloved is waiting for you on the path. O Radha, wherever you place your feet, Shyama's eyes follow. Silken ropes are hung upon which fair Radha is swinging. Her golden arms are decorated with floral bracelets.
See. There's another one also for Jhulan, but I don't know it yet, so I'll have to learn it because Jhulan Yatra continues for quite a while. There's Jhula Chule, Radha Damodara Vrindavaname, but I don't know. I'm not comfortable enough to sing that one yet. So now, Harinam. Our favorite, Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Let's turn this one off. There we go.
About what? Trying to, she's not there.
the reason that I prepare everything before beginning Mangalacharan, for those of you who don't know, many years ago there was a devotee who was starting to do their Mangalacharan before speaking. And as they were doing their Mangalacharan, they were moving the mic, fixing this, adjusting everything, and Gurudev told them, stop. First fix everything, first get everything ready, then enter into that sacred space. He didn't use those words, but that's what he meant. Then do your Mangalacharan, where you don't have to be worried about all of these things. So I'm just setting it up and arranging it first like this. Okay. Oops. Gurave Gaurachandraya Radhikaya Tadalaye Krishnaya Krishna Bhaktaye Tadbhaktaye Namo Namah Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah Nama Vishnupadaya Radhikaya Priyatmane Shri Srimad Bhaktivedanta Narayan Namine Nama Vishnupadaya Krishna Presthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Namine Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Mukam Karoti Vachalam Pangam Langayate Girim Yat Kripatamaham Vande Shri Gurum Dinatarinam. First of all, I offer my Dandavat Pranam thousands of times in the dust of the lotus feet of our beloved Gurudev. Nityalila Pravishta Vishnupad astottara Shata Shri Srimad Srila Bhaktivedanta Narayan Goswami Maharaja. And the same thousands of Dandavat Pranam in the dust of the lotus feet of Nityalila Pravishta Vishnupad astottara Shata Shri Srimad Srila Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada, and unto our Rupanuga Gauriya Guru Varga. And also I offer my Dandavat Pranam to all Vaishnavas, past, present, and future, including all of you who are present with us today. My Dandavat Pranam.
Dandavat Pranam.
So today, we are observing here Ekadashi and the beginning of Jhulan Yatra. And tomorrow is also an auspicious holy day, Srila Rupa Goswami's day, and some other important holy days, which I'm not aware of yet, but I have to look at the calendar. So, today I read a little something from Srila Gurudev on this Jhulan Yatra, and I'll speak a little bit about Ekadashi, and then we will continue going beyond Vaikuntha. So actually I'm going to reference what Gurudev was saying about this, because Srila Gurudev was explaining that in this season, it has been raining almost every day a little bit, sometimes sprinkling, sometimes heavy rain. So the heat of summer has dissipated a bit. Earlier today we went out, it was hot, but there was still a cool breeze coming, even in the heat. And in the evening time, you can go for a very comfortable walk, with your masks on, a very comfortable walk, and it's got a nice breeze coming off of Jamuna and also from maybe the Himalayas, I'm not sure. But there's a nice soft, cool breeze which is coming. So at this time, they begin swinging Sri Radha Damodar. Gurudev was explaining that the peacocks begin to caw. I don't think they crow, they caw. So I'm just going to read a little bit. You may have already read it, many of you, but for those of you who have not, Srila Gurudev this is a translation from his Hindi classes, that in the month of Shravan, the rainy season, the clouds in the sky begin to make a thundering sound. An extremely fine mist-like rain drizzles everywhere. The atmosphere is very beautiful and pleasant after the heat of the summer months, for at that time all of the forests of Vrindavan begin to bloom. Today we were looking over from the top of Gopinath Bhavan how Jamuna was flowing and how across Jamuna everything is so beautiful and green from all of the recent rain. Many types of flowers on both sides of the Jamuna, such as Beli, Chameli, Jui, and Madhavi begin to bloom. So we see that also. So many very fragrant and sweet flowers. The flowers that we're getting almost every day are provided by Shashikala Didi. She's arranging so many flowers for our Thakurji. And they're so beautiful, so sweet, and so fragrant in this season. It's not just marigolds. There's so many different varieties of beautiful jasmine-like flowers. As Gurudev was saying, Beli, Chameli, Malati, and these ones, what is it? Frangipani, champak flowers. The bumblebees look here and there and chant, Radhe, Radhe. And the cuckoos also call out, Radhe, Radhe. So many of you may have heard that one song. Who was it? Mridul Krishna Shastri. Anyone who came to Parikrama would have heard it because it was blaring off of every loudspeaker in Vrindavan, even as you're doing Govardhan Parikrama. And it says, Nidhuvaname Radhe Radhe. Even the monkeys of Nidhuvaname Bandara Bole Shri Radha Radha. Shri Radha Radha. Shri Radha Radha. Everything is chanting Radhe 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 Radhe. The bumblebees and the cuckoos. The peacocks and the peahens all call out. I can't do this sound very well. Kaka. K means, Gurudev says, which male person has the ability to do a very wonderful thing? This is K. Which male person has the ability to do a very wonderful thing? And Gurudev explains that Srimati Radhika's man. Man is transcendental, jealous anger, which is within the realm of prem. Prem, sneha, man, pranay, rag, anurag, bhav, mahabhav. So it is actually an expression of transcendental loving affection by which Krishna's eagerness is increased by millions of times. I always have to clarify that because it's sometimes the tendency or trait, very often, of those who are conditioned souls to materialize the pastimes of the Lord and His eternal Shaktis. Our love in this material world is nothing like the love of Radha and Krishna, which many of the Hindi film songs try to promote, that our love is like Radha and Krishna's love. This is actually complete, utter, ludicrous nonsense. Material love in this world is nothing like their love. Theirs is completely transcendental and free from any selfishness. Okay, Krishna's may have selfishness, that's his nature. But all other souls, their love is meant to flow to Krishna. So their love is not like our love. Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita states, Atmendriya Pritivancha Taribalikam Krishnendriya Priti Icha Dhare Premanam. That tendency to satisfy one's own senses, Atmendriya Priti Vancha, the desire to satisfy one's own senses. This is known as Kam. Now, Kam has two different meanings. When it's referring to Radha and Krishna, this Kam is like from the Kam Gayatri, that actually means praying, right? Kamatmika Bhakti. But when it's applied in this material world, it is that prem is pervertedly reflected in this material world as lust. It means selfish, self-serving, lustful tendencies. And we call it love in this world. So Atmendriya, Atma Indriya, means one's own senses. The tendency to satisfy or to want to fulfill the sensuous desires of oneself. This is known as Kam or lust. Krishna Indriya, Pritivansha, the desire to satisfy the transcendental senses of Krishna. Dhare Premanam. This is known as Prem, divine transcendental love and affection. So really, the process of Krishna consciousness is to dovetail our self-serving, lustful tendencies into serving the transcendental senses of Krishna. Hrishikena, Hrishikesha, Sevanam Bhaktir Uchate. This is another definition of bhakti. Sarvapadi Vinirmuktam Tat Paratvena Nirmalam Hrishikena Hrishikesha Sevanam Bhaktir Uchate. That one who is engaging all of their senses in the service of Krishna, those senses will become purified gradually. And that will become bhakti. Maharaj Ambarish used all of his senses in the service of the Lord, and therefore he was glorified. Savai Manak Krishna Padaravindayo Vatanshi Vaikuntha Gunanavarnane. So using all of one's senses in the service of the Lord, this is known as Prem. Premanam. So here, K means which male person. Sorry, Gurudev is speaking. Srimati Radhika manifests her man or sulky mood of transcendental loving, jealous anger, qualified by the word transcendental, as well as her shyness and patience, are like a very tall and immovable mountain. This creates an obstacle for Krishna, who becomes very eager to try to break that man. In the process of trying to break that man, Krishna is experiencing so many transcendental emotions, if you want to call it that. And it is increasing his transcendental pleasure more and more and more. And when her man finally breaks, this is the success of Krishna. He feels my life is successful. So, which male person, K, can crush that mountain of man into powder so that there is nothing left? This person is Sri Krishna. So, K means who. In Sanskrit or Hindi like that. Who can do this? That person is Krishna. And Ka. K-Ka is the sound that they hear when peacocks are making K-Ka. Ka means which female person can do a very wonderful thing? There is a powerful, mad elephant named Sri Krishna. He's compared to a powerful, mad elephant. How do you subdue a mad elephant? How do you catch a mad elephant? So that powerful mad elephant, his name is Krishna, whom no one can control. One person, however, by the goad of her man. So her man is compared to a goad, you know, that tool that they use for controlling elephants. One person, however, can catch that elephant by bringing him under her control and then bind him in the shackle of her prem. Who is that? That is Srimati Radhika. In this way, the peacocks and peahens glorify Srimati Radhika and Krishna. So here, who can bring him completely under her control? There is a name for Srimati Radhika, which means who can bring Krishna completely under her control. If anyone knows it, please post it. You will be the first one to get a prize. I'll give you a hint. In Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, the verse is quoted there, glorifying Srimati Radhika. So many names of Srimati Radhika. So the peacocks are glorifying like this. And we also hear about Sukha and Sati, the male and female parrots, how they're always glorifying Sri Radha and Krishna. Sukh is taking one side, Sati is taking the other side, and they're always speaking about the pastimes of Krishna. And they're actually comparing them to one another and trying to glorify one over the other, like this. Well, my Srimati, my Swamini, she's like this. Well, my Swami is like this. And they're always glorifying more and more. And our Param Gurudev's Mangal Arti Bhajan, our Param Gurudev is Shri Srimad Bhakti Pragyan Keshav Goswami Maharaj. There he writes, Mangala Shri Guru Gaura Mangala Murati. So, what is it? Sukhadi Sari Katapikaraj Mangala Jagara Hetu Kariche Viraj. That Sukha and Sari are always glorifying the sweet pastimes of Radha and Krishna. So all of the animals, we might just see them in Vrindavan, all of these bees and birds and everything, and we just look and think, oh, they're just doing their mundane business. But Gurudev said even the trees here, even the birds here now are witnessing the pastimes of Radha and Krishna as they are going on eternally now here. So Gurudev warned us, don't rip the leaves off the trees, don't break the branches like this. We should give respect. They may be powerful yogis who are doing austerities for thousands of years in that form so that they're not disturbed by all of the nonsense that goes around on the outside. They're able to just be in their situation. And we understand that our Shad Goswami and so many 6 Goswamis, and so many of the other Vaishnavas who came to Vrindavan, they would always make their bhajan kutir literally under a tree. Why would they stay under a different tree every night? Because they were asking those trees, have you seen? Have you seen? Please reveal what pastimes of Radha and Krishna you have seen. You are like a wish-fulfilling tree. In Vrindavan, every tree is known as Kalpataru. What is it? Chintamani prakarasadmasu kalpavriksha lakshavrateshu surabhira vipalayantam. Kalpavriksha, every tree is the wish-fulfilling tree. And also in that verse near the end, Shriya Kantaha Kantaha Paramapurusha Kalpatarvo Druma Bhumish Chintamani Ganamayi Tvayamamritam Kataganam Natyam Gamanamapi Vamshi Priyasaki. I think it's in there, I'm not sure. Chiranandam Jyoti Paramapi. I'm not sure. But there it's saying that everything is transcendental and conscious in Vrindavan. Everything is conscious. Even the dust is conscious. And everything in Vrindavan has the capacity to awaken praying for the lotus feet of Sri Radha and Krishna. That means what is actually in the consciousness of Braj. Vishuddha Brajavasi. Not just because someone is physically residing here. Someone may be physically residing here, even born here, but only meditating on how to enjoy in the West. So this is not the meaning of being in Vrindavan. Being in Vrindavan means being saturated in thoughts of serving Radha and Krishna. This means being in Vrindavan. Did I make my point? I can't remember. Right, so Gurudev said that all of these are glorifying Radha and Krishna. At the time of Shravan, everything becomes green. The summer was dry, but now the rain has come, and everything has come to life again. Just recently, Sadhu Maharaj, who's residing here in Gopinath Bhavan, he fixed the fire pits for Kartik. Hopefully there will be a festival, but there might not be this year. And then around them now, he's planted so many beautiful things, and because of all the rain, it's growing up. So there's a beautiful garden popping up in the middle, and he made a gorgeous Tulsi Garden above Ganga Devi, which is also very beautiful and green and full of so many thousands of Tulsi leaves and manjaris. So everything becomes green at this time. The summer was dry, but now the rain has come and everything has come to life again. All of the young birds, I read birds because my eyes aren't very good. All of the young brides, how's that, are taken at this time from their mother-in-law's homes by their brothers, and they return to their father's home. So this is a special time where the brides, the young married ladies of Braj, generally go home to visit their fathers. Srimati Radhika was still at her in-laws' home in Yavat, however. So Radhika is married in Yavat. Her mother-in-law's name is Jatila, and her sister-in-law's name is Kutila. Her husband's name is Abhimanyu. But due to a benediction given by Krishna in such a way, same with the other gopis, these husbands never touch them. And these gopis, including Srimati Radhika, are exclusively dedicated in mind, body, heart, soul, and everything to Krishna. Interestingly enough, Jatila, her form in Gaur Lila, you may not know this, is Ramachandra Puri, who's always criticizing Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. This is the nature of Jatila. She's always criticizing Srimati Radhika. And this criticism, this nature like that, also increases Srimati Radhika's eagerness to meet with Krishna, because Jatila is creating a situation where it is so difficult for Srimati Radhika to meet with Krishna. So that place of tension is the place of all rasa. Therefore, she exists, Jatila. And also, because Mahaprabhu is experiencing Radha's bhav, Jatila has come in the form of Ramachandra Puri, who's always criticizing. Oh, what are you doing? I know what you're doing, like this. So we should understand that the eternal associates of the Lord, they may appear this way or that way, but we should understand what is their position in the transcendental realm. So Srimati Radhika was still at her in-laws' home in Yavat. Yavat is quite far from Nandagaon. Every day Srimati Radhika would come from Yavat via Ter Kadamba, where Rup Goswami did his bhajan, we'll speak about that tomorrow, to Nandagaon. And there she would cook for Krishna in 100 clay pots. And with the assistance, it means some distant assistance of her maidservants and others. So, from Yavat, that is where she is married. And also the other gopis, and especially the manjaris, are praying. What is it? Dekite, dekite, bhuli vakabe, nijastul parichar. Javate vivaha habe. When will that day come? Bhaktivedanta Thakur is praying. When will that day come when my marriage will also be done in Yavat? So, she was still at her in-laws' home, however, because her brother Sridam had not come. So Radhika's brother is Sridam. Much time passed, and finally he arrived there on the full moon day, with some clothing and ornaments to pacify Radhika's mother-in-law, Jatila. Seeing her brother, Srimati Radhika wept. "Oh, my dear brother, why have you come so late? Only a few days remain of this Shravan month. Why did you come late? Did you forget me?" Srimati Radhika then very happily left Yavat and went to Varshana, Vrishabhanupur, with her brother. And there she met together with all of her Sakhis, her intimate friends, as they had also returned to their maternal homes. At that time, it was a very beautiful meeting and reunion in the place of their childhood play. The Sakhis made a jhulan, that is a swing for her. They always make the swing on a kadamba tree, not on a tamal tree. So in Vrindavan, you will see so many different kinds of trees, but two prominent trees that are here, one is kadamba tree, and the other one is tamal tree. Kadamba tree is very strong, very large, and very golden colored. And the tamal tree is also strong, quite crooked, and very dark complexion. Many places around Vrindavan, you will see tamal trees and kadamba trees intertwined around each other. And for anyone who is seeing this, who has the bhav or the mood of a Brajavasi, they will see that this is Radha and Krishna. If Radha and Krishna see this, this is udipana or stimulation for their transcendental pastimes. Jai Jai Radha Krishna Jugala Milan. That they should always meet happily forever in Vrindavan. Just seeing the trees like this. Back when I was younger, when I was in Vrindavan Gurukul, I was 9, 10, and 11 years old. For 2 years I went to Vrindavan Gurukul. Just around the corner from the temple, from the ISKCON temple, down the Parikrama Marg, the Parikrama path that would go around Vrindavan. I guess it's close to what they now call the Russian building. So near there was a tree that they used to call the Krishna Balaram tree. And then when I met my Gurudev, everyone was calling it the Yugala Kishore tree. And that was quite interesting for me, because this tree was intertwined like this. Tamal tree and Kadamba tree, intertwined, very like twisted together. And you see this in the form of Radha and Krishna Jugal. Have you seen that painting? Supposedly it was, I heard that it was one of Srila Prabhupada's favorite, in that form where they're standing together and intertwined like this. So we chant that Jai Jai Radha Krishna Jugala Milan. All glories to Radha and Krishna, who are together in transcendental meeting in their playful vilas. And that's when we do that arati. Jai Jai Radha Krishna Jugala Milan Arati Koroi Lalita Di Sakilan. So here, the Sakhis always make a swing on a Kadamba tree and not on a Tamal tree. The significance of a Kadamba tree is that it carries the complexion of Srimati Radhika, and the Tamal tree has a complexion of Krishna. Do you remember in the Krishna book, when Aristasur, the massive demon in the form of a bull, whose horns were in the clouds, and he was snorting and digging dust and running wild through Vrindavan. At that time, the gopis began running in fear of this demon, and they were running When there's danger, they forget all of their everything. In those times of danger or emergency, sometimes you forget all of the etiquettes. And they were running, thinking that Krishna was there. They were embracing the tamal trees. Not tamal trees, Kadamba trees. The gopis were embracing, all thinking, this is Krishna. Save me, help me, like this. You remember that? There was even a painting. So the original tree huggers are the gopis. They're embracing these trees, thinking it is Krishna. And Krishna is very interested to hear about these kinds of things. What? They're embracing these Kadamba trees, tamal trees, thinking it's like me. So the significance of the Kadamba tree is that it carries the complexion of Srimati Radhika, and the tamal tree has a complexion of Sri Krishna. The tamal tree is not very powerful, but the Kadamba tree is very strong and beautiful. This signifies, this is the nature of Gurudev, this signifies the superiority of Srimati Radhika. She can control Lord Krishna by her love. Yes. Kadamba is golden, tamal is black. And they have made a mistake a couple of times. So then Gurudev starts going into this other bhajan which we didn't sing. Jhula jhule radha damodar vrindavaname keshi chai hariyali ali kunjaname. Radha Damodar are swinging on the swing in Vrindavan. Oh friend, how very green the kunja is. It's the first verse. Now it's interesting. We usually hear the name Damodar in relation to Mother Yashoda, right? Namamishwaram sachidanandarupam lasat kundalam gokule brajamanam Yashoda viyonukaladhavamanam paramrishtamatyan tato drutya gopya Stita graibam damodaram bhakti badham. I think that's the third one. Iti drikshvalilabhirananda kunde swagosham nimajantam akyaapayantam tadiyashita jeshu bhaktarjitatvam. No, it's not that one. Namo deva damodarananta vishno prasida prabho duka jalabdimagnam. So we normally hear Damodar in terms of Yashoda, who is binding Krishna's waist with the rope of her love and affection. But now we're hearing Radha Damodar. What does that mean? It means that Krishna who is bound completely by the love and affection of Srimati Radhika. Sudevi?
Yeah?
Will you share?
I'm not kind of prepared.
No, just what you asked Gurudev.
You do it.
Okay.
You do it. It's nice.
Okay. So, Srila Gurudev explained in Damodarashtakam. If you read his Damodarashtakam, it's very beautiful. There he explained that the rope that was tied by Mother Yashoda, because Vatsalya Prem is superior to Sakya Prem. Parental love contains all Sakya Ras within it. It is superior, however, to Sakya Prem because of the depth of mamata, possessive mood, you are mine, that is present within Vatsalya Prem, this Madhya Bhav. Because of the depth of that, it is superior to Sakya Prem. Therefore, the cowherd boys could not untie Krishna. They tried. So many tried. They were very small, very little, like Krishna, 3.5 years old. They could not untie the rope of her love and affection for Krishna. Who untied Krishna? When those trees fell down, Mother Yashoda heard a very loud crash. And she just became stunned. At the moment, tears were flowing from her eyes and she was just in shock. She thought, what have I done? What have I done? I can't even go and look. Also, it is said that if a monkey is jumping from building to building with her baby, if her baby falls, she won't look back. She can't handle the idea of even seeing what might have happened. It's too painful of an idea. Mother Yashoda could not even fathom going to check what might have happened. She just heard this massive loud crash and she was completely in shock, stunned. Nanda Baba and others ran to see what happened. Nanda Baba saw, what? What happened? And then he found out, oh, who did this to you? Krishna said, Maya, my mother, Maya did it. Oh, Nanda Baba became very angry with her. So Mother Yashoda couldn't even handle it. Nanda Baba was able to untie her. Why? Untie Krishna. Because he also possesses Vatsalya Prem. We might say hers is more than Nanda Baba, but in this pastime, he was able to untie. But the cowherd boys were not. And so once Sudevi asked Srila Gurudev a question, could the gopis untie Krishna from this? And Gurudev said, just by their glance, that rope would burn to ashes in a moment. Just by their glance. Why? Because their prem is the supreme, the highest prem, the topmost. So, what is it? Ramya Kachit Upasana Vrajavadu Vargena Yakalpita. And amongst all the gopis, the love of Srimati Radhika is the greatest. Sarvakanti Shiromani, the crest jewel of all beloveds of Krishna, is Srimati Radhika. Just by their glance, that rope would have been burnt to ashes. But who can unbind Krishna from the rope of Radhika's love and affection? There's no one who can unbind Krishna from that. So, this is the meaning of Radha Damodara. That Krishna who is completely subjugated and bound, imprisoned by Srimati Radhika's love and affection, where she becomes the superior dominator, the controller. Krishna feels that I am simply, how did Srila Prabhupada say it? In Vrindavan, Krishna is simply like a plaything in the hands of the gopis, Prabhupada said. It's quite amazing. So here Gurudev is saying, we sing this kirtan at the time of swinging Shri Shri Radha and Krishna. Radhe Julana Padhara or Jula Jule Radha Damodara Vrindavaname. It describes how Krishna has come and is waiting at the swing with folded palms for his beloved to come. Radhika is in man, jealous anger, and her Sakhis tried to persuade her to come by saying, please give up your sulky mood and come at once to your beloved Krishna. He is waiting for you. In this way, we are observing Jhulan Yatra and remembering the sweet pastimes of Sri Sri Radha and Krishna. Remember, what is the mood of Rupa Anuga? Those who are followers of Rupa Goswami's mood of serving Radha and Krishna. They don't like to see that Radhika is pining after, crying after, chasing after Krishna. They like to see that she's in the superior position and Krishna is crying for her, waiting for her, for any seva to her. This is Vrindavan. Vrindavan is known as Seva Kunja for a reason. Everywhere else, everyone is serving Krishna, but in Vrindavan, love controls everything. And it is the love of the devotees that are also controlling Krishna. And he's endeavoring to reciprocate by serving his devotees, always trying to serve. So he wants to swing Srimati Radhika. He wants to serve her in some way or other. This is Vrindavan. And she is the queen of Vrindavan, Vrindavaneshwari. Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi, Radhe Vrindavaneshwari, Vrishabhanusute Devi, Pranamami Hari Priye. So in this way we are observing Jhulan Yatra and remembering the sweet pastimes of Sri Sri Radha and Krishna. So it's a very sweet time. In Vrindavan, almost in every single temple, you will find that they have made some kind of swing arrangement and they're swinging the deities. And also in temples around the world, in houses around the world, everyone has a little swing and they're swinging their Thakurji. I just haven't been able to build one. They're quite heavy as well. I think 17 kilos, 35 pounds with their stands. So we will do the swinging of the camera, virtual swinging. So Shri Shri Radha Damodar Ju Ki Jai, Shri Jhulan Yatra Ki Jai. Very sweet pastimes of Radha and Krishna swinging. And at the time when they're swinging, they're enjoying one another's company so much. And also because of the soft sprinkles in the air and the soft breezes which come, when they're swinging also, that soft breeze becomes enhanced and so much beautiful experience, so much transcendental pleasure is experienced by them at that time. So also today is Ekadashi for us. And many of you, it may be manifesting soon or may have manifested already, I'm not sure. According to the Tithi, the time period in your location, this is how Srila Gurudev instructed us to follow, and this is how he himself followed. And we follow what our Gurudev followed. This is called being under guidance. And also what he instructed us to do, this is also called being under guidance. So we follow as he taught us, as he would do when he was sitting next to us. We should also do if we want to receive his mercy. We should not do anything which would be displeasing to him or opposed to him or independent from Guru. Guru said, what does Guru want from us? He wants our loyalty and our independence. This is what he wants. And he will take those qualities and make them more and more qualified until we are ready, and then he will engage us in the service of our dear, most beloved Sri Radha and Krishna. First offering us to the lotus feet of his Gurudev and so on and so forth, until we come to Sri Rupa Manjari, Lalita Saki, Srimati Radhika, Krishna. It will flow like this. This is called Parampara. So, on Ekadashi day, today we sang Shuddha Bhakata Charanarenu Bhajana Anukul Bhakata Seva Paramasiddhi Premalati Karamul Madhavati Iti Bhakti Janani Jatani Palanakori Krishna Vasati Vasati Bori Parama Adare Bori. So Madhavati Bhakti Janani, this day Ekadashi gives us the opportunity for awakening bhakti by observing and honoring Ekadashi, which is a manifestation of the mercy of Krishna for those who are suffering in the material world, especially suffering all kinds of hellish predicaments. If we observe and follow Ekadashi under the guidance of Shuddha Vaishnavas, if we're just doing it for any reason and not for the reason of awakening bhakti, then Gurudev said it will be like reward-seeking activity, karma mishra bhakti or karma kanda. We might not get the result of bhakti. But if we approach this aspect of the mercy of Krishna, Krishna's mercy in the form of a time period, Ekadashi, this day of the Lord, we should worship this day of the Lord as non-different from Krishna, with great care and attention, jatane palana kori, very, very carefully. If we do that, then bhakti janani, bhakti will be manifested, born in our heart. So bhakti janani means also who gives birth to bhakti, who is the mother of devotion. Gurudev said it's not a time to try to enjoy more. Oh my God, you mean I can't have what I normally eat, so let me have more paneer and fruit salad with cream and try to enjoy more through the other senses than usual. This is not how to follow Ekadashi very carefully. This is some kind of cheating. Rather, we should decrease our sensory intake and increase our dedication to Krishna on this day. And if we observe Ekadashi very carefully, then whatever activity that we normally do for Krishna or for bhakti is increased by thousands of times. So it is a very, very amazing, powerful, beneficial opportunity to move forward on the path of bhakti. And for anyone who is really endeavoring, who is actually truly a bhakta, a devotee, what is the root qualification for Krishna bhakti? The intense, greedy desire to have it. Krishna bhakti rasabhavitamati kriyatam janikatopi labhyate tatra lolyam api mulyam ekalam janma koti shukritaina labhyate. Millions of lifetimes of doing good deeds in this world, like giving in charity to the poor, feeding stray animals, or opening hospitals, free hospitals, and doing so many things like that, philanthropic work. This cannot give one the qualification for Krishna Bhakti Ras Bhav. It cannot give one the qualification for devotion to Krishna. Janma koti shukritaya na labhyate. What can give one the qualification for bhakti? The root qualification is the intense, greedy desire to have it, and that manifests in the association of sadhus. Krishna Bhakti Janma Mool Hoy Sadhu Sangha. It means the same word, mool, is there, it means the root. Sadhu Sangha gives that eagerness. By the association with those who are burning in that direction, we will also begin to burn like that for Krishna Seva, to love Krishna. by their association. And the same thing is told in the bhajan we just sang, Shuddha Bhakata Charanarenu Bhajana Anukul Bhakata Seva Paramasiddhi Prema Latikara Mul. Again, the word mul is there, root. So the root cause is Bhakata Seva, to serve the devotees. This will give one perfection, and it is the root cause of Prema Lata. Prema Lata means the creeper of divine love and devotion, starting with Shraddha, Nishta, Ruchi, Ashakti, Bhav, also known as Bhakti Lata, Prema Lata. Prema Latikara Mul. So this mul means root. Root. They have a vegetable here, it's radish, and it's called muli. It's a root. It's a root crop, and they call it muli. So with this root, the root qualification for Krishna Bhakti is the intense, greedy desire to have it. And what is a symptom of greed? Genuine symptom of greed is, if I can get it in any way, then I will get it in any way. By hook, by crook, by purchasing, as Srila Prabhupada writes, one must purchase it without delay. So if Ekadashi gives us the opportunity to move 1,000 times faster than usual by practicing bhakti and by honoring Ekadashi, those tenets of bhakti which will increase our thirst for serving Krishna, then the proof of greed is that we will take advantage of this mercy of Krishna coming in the form of Ekadashi, follow and honor Ekadashi very carefully so that we can run fast on the path of bhakti. So Madhavatiti Ekadashi ki jai. Now we have a few minutes. And tomorrow we will remember and glorify Srila Rupa Goswamipada to the best of our ability. It's actually impossible to glorify such a personality, but we will do our best. Now we will read a few minutes of this transcendental literature, manifestation of the heart of Sri Sanatan Goswami and the heart's commentary of our Gurudev, Srila Bhaktivedanta Narayan Goswami Maharaj. We will be continuing going beyond Vaikuntha. So first, calling out in the prayer, Raghunathas Goswami, Vairag Juga Bhakti Rasam Prayatner, Apayanan Mam Anabipshamandam, Krapambudirya Paradukaduki Sanatanaspam Prabhumashrayami. Praying in the dust of the lotus feet of our Gurudev and Sri Sanatan Goswamipada, but that maybe even a particle of their moods, which are present within these pages, manifest within our hearts. So yesterday, Srila Gurudev came to this point, speaking about, interestingly enough, that thing which is considered the most degraded in this world, the most taboo thing, that thing which everyone shuns and considers a no-no. What is that? Adultery, extramarital affairs, or mundane sensual relationships outside of the confines of dharma. It's considered, it's frowned upon very heavily within Vedic cultural context. In the world today, it's considered absolutely normal. People glorify it, people engage in it, it's normal, and it's even glorified. And if someone wants to mention anything about that, then they're frowned upon. Anyone who's following the path of dharma or trying to do good, they're criticized heavily. But those who are doing adharmic things in the name of being a guru and sannyasi and like this and doing all sorts of nefarious activities, oh, they're glorified as being the highest. And anyone who's trying to follow the path of dharma, they're criticized, oh, you're an offender. This is the nature of Kali Yuga today. So Gurudev is saying, sometimes, even if that thing which is considered the most degraded of all in this world is dovetailed in the service of Bhagavan, in the service of Krishna, it can become the highest thing. So look at Arjuna. He was fighting on the battlefield of Kurukshetra. He had to kill thousands and millions of soldiers. Even on the other side, who were fighting against him, it's usually family, isn't it? Family gets... It's always like that. Especially at a time when everyone's locked down together and the idle mind becomes the devil's workshop. then so many difficulties start to manifest because the mind starts running crazy. So Arjuna had to fight with his own family members. He saw Bhishma Dev, Dronacharya, his own martial arts guru, so many on the other side. Even Krishna's own personal armies. Now, do you remember the history? Krishna was taking his rest in the afternoon. And he said, one person, because Duryodhana and Arjuna were vying for position. And Krishna said, one of you will get me, whoever I see first will get my armies. But Duryodhana was greedy for Krishna's military. It's like, wow, the armies of Krishna are amazing. They can defeat millions of warriors. I want his military. And Arjuna knew that wherever Krishna is, that side will be victorious. Wherever Krishna is. So Arjuna took a very humble position at the feet of Krishna. And Duryodhana took the position, thinking Krishna will look at me first, sitting close to Krishna. So Duryodhana got all of Krishna's own army, and it is the nature or duty of Kshatriyas to follow their dharma. So because they received Duryodhana received Krishna's army had a duty to fight for their leader. So they had to fight, even against the side of Krishna and Krishna's near and dear devotees, the Pandavas. So Arjuna was there, seeing both sides, and he became completely bewildered. He didn't want to fight. But Krishna spoke Bhagavatamrita and convinced him that this is already done by my will. And after he showed Arjuna his universal form, Arjuna realized, you are everything. Everything is done by your will. I am now a soul surrendered to you, so I will follow whatever instruction you give. And although it might be considered sinful in one aspect to kill someone's family members on a battlefield, there was a holy war, the Mahabharata war, but because Arjuna was doing it in service to Krishna, then this became seva. Hanuman burnt down Lanka in service to Srila, so it was seva. Yudhishthira Maharaj couldn't tell the lie, but if he would have told that lie for Krishna, that would have been seva. And the gopis, they give up all their shyness, their chastity, their name and position in society, their respect, which was the ornament of a woman previously, their shyness. Everything they gave up for Krishna. And for that, Krishna said, I cannot repay you for your love. You have given everything. So if they gave everything, then Krishna has to give his everything. But their everything is unlimited. So he must also give himself unlimitedly. Therefore, he becomes indebted to them. I cannot repay you for your love. Your love is the greatest thing in all creation. Let your love be its own repayment. You should be satisfied by that. So that is the nature of they have done something which is considered completely taboo in society, but risked everything for the pleasure of Krishna. So here Gurudeva is saying, the most degraded thing in all of the world, if it is dovetailed in the service of Krishna, can become the highest thing. And so yesterday we were explaining that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu explains that this is the greatest method or mode of serving Krishna. Ramya Kachidupasana Vrajavadu Vargena Yakalpita. The method which the young married gopis of Vrindavan, Vrajavadhu, young married gopis, undertook to please Krishna. This is the highest form of service to Krishna, by which Krishna is completely captured and captivated by that love and affection. And then Gurudev quoted that verse from Srimad Bhagavatam, Vikriditam Vrajavadu Vidinam Cha Vishnum Shradhan Vito Nishinuyat Athavarnayidya Bhaktim Param Bhagavatim Pratilabdya Kama Ridrogamashvapahino Tyachirena Dhira. And so we spoke about that yesterday. Anyone who faithfully hears or describes the divine pastimes enjoyed by Krishna with the gopis of Vrindavan will very quickly obtain pure bhakti, thereby conquering the heart disease of lust. This kama, this lust, controls the entire universe. Every material universe, the entire material creation is born of lust. Arjuna asked Krishna on the battlefield of Kurukshetra, what is it that impels one to do any activity even though they know they shouldn't do it, as if it is against one's will, but they cannot help themselves? And we all know what that's like. Why? I know I shouldn't do it. It's bad for me. It's not good for anyone. What is it? Arjuna asked. And Krishna said, it is lust only, the all-devouring sinful enemy of this world. That thing which destroys everything in its path. While contemplating the objects of the senses, one develops attachment for them. From that attachment comes lust. And then from that lust comes frustration, which manifests in the form of anger, delusion, bewilderment of memory, and then all intelligence is lost. Krishna speaks about these things very, very clearly. So that lust is what is binding us in this world. All jivas are bound in this world because we have this tendency to want to be the center, that I want to enjoy. I want to be the Vishai. And therefore there's only conflict everywhere because we are not giving the enjoyment to Krishna, but we're trying to take it for ourselves. And there's conflict everywhere. But if everyone was focusing on Krishna, what a beautiful world this would be. Someone asked that question to our Srila Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. But if everyone surrendered to Krishna, then how would things go on? This kind of question. Everything would just stop. And he said, he answered quickly, how perfect and beautiful would it be if everyone surrendered to Krishna? What a wonderful situation it would be. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu wanted it to be like that. Ragamargan bhakti loke korite pracharan, that the entire world should embrace this path of spontaneous love and affection for Krishna. How? Through the process of taking shelter of the holy names of the Lord. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. So hearing faithfully, Shraddha Anvita. From who? That person who is already free from lust. Who can be free from lust in this world? Even the greatest and most powerful sages, just hearing the ankle bells of Menaka, heavenly damsels, Apsara, they lose their austerity and everything, completely bewildered, and they engage in their lustful activities. Who can become free from that? Not just by sitting under the waters of Jamuna for 60,000 years like Shobari Rishi, stilling the water, but still the mud is there at the bottom and only takes a little bit to stir it up, and again, lust inflames within the heart. What is the cure for the heart disease of lust? Hearing the Rasalila pastimes of Krishna with faith, with regard from such a person who is completely free from that thing, who does not engage in lustful activities, who does not meditate on any mundane lustful thing, who does not engage others in doing those things. By hearing from that person who is transcendental to all of that, that's the meaning of transcendental, right? Above and beyond the material conditionings, who can control the urges of speech, who can control the urges of the mind, who can control the urges of anger, who can control the urges of the tongue, who can control the urges of the belly, who can control the urges of the genitals. They are qualified to accept disciples all over the world. That is Guru. And more than that, completely surrendered 100%, 10% to Parabrahma Shri Krishna without attraction to anything in this material world whatsoever. That is the definition of Shri Guru according to Guru Sadhu and Shastra. So, hearing from such a person these topics with faith and regard, then by their mercy, the disease, the knots of lust in the heart will be eradicated. Hearing the topics of the transcendental love of Radha and Krishna, or the gopis' love and affection in separation from Krishna. If you actually see what are the Rasalila pastimes, the Rasa dance part only takes place very quickly, but then you hear Venu Geet, Brahma Geet, so many different geets are there, and it's moods of the gopis, feelings of separation from Krishna, how they're crying for Krishna, And this cuts the disease of lust in the heart. So it is essential for us, because here it is saying that is the recipe. That is the prescription if we have lust. So once our Gurudev was challenged about this, no, they're not qualified to hear the subject. And our Gurudev said, if this is the cure for lust, then how will they get rid of their lust without taking the cure? You cannot get rid of the lust by only meditating on the lust. I don't want to be lusty. Remove the lust, remove the lust. And then what happens as a result? You're meditating on lust. And Krishna says, whatever you put your faith in, I make it strong. Whatever state of consciousness one is in at the time of death, that state they will attain without fail. So if I'm meditating on lust, whether in the positive or the negative, material lust, no. This is not the cure or the remedy or the prescription for getting rid of it. Krishna says, always think of me. Remember me. Worship me. Offer your pranam to me. He doesn't say meditate on all of your anarthas or the anarthas of others. He never orders these kinds of things. Yes, we should be aware of this. We can feel very lowly about it, but there should always be a prayer at the end. Like Bhaktivedanta Thakur in this beautiful bhajan, Srila Krishna Pada Kamale Mana Kemana Lobhine Charana Sharana. That, look at my situation. I am full of so much thirst for material enjoyment. So please take that and dovetail it and bring it to having thirst of serving the transcendental pastimes of Radha and Krishna. Everything he's mentioning in the negative, he's asking in his prayer to switch it. Instead of mundane consciousness, make it Krishna conscious. I have so much lust, he says. So please, let my transcendental love awaken for the pastimes of Radha and Krishna. I am firmly bound in the bodily conception of life. So give me my eternal transcendental form, Siddhade Hadiya Vrindavan Amache, and engage me in the service of Radha and Krishna in Vrindavan. What a beautiful prayer. Shri Radha Krishna Pada Kamalemana Kemana Lobhivi Charama Sharana. So in this verse, Srila Gurudev is explaining, and if you read in his Benu Gita introduction, he goes into it very, very deeply. Because of these different questions, you're not qualified to hear this. Well, if we don't hear or receive the remedy, if we don't take the remedy, then how will we get rid of it? This verse is not saying if you're pure. It says if you have lust in your heart, material lust, then how do you overcome it? The only way to overcome the material lust is with the higher taste, which is transcendental lust, which is actually prema. So to overcome material kam, then you need to replace it with transcendental kam. And many of you may have heard something of this sort. How do you fall out of love with your partner who's broken your heart? You fall in love with someone else. Then you just end up forgetting about it. But if you don't, or if you don't fall in love with Krishna, then you end up just meditating on that and it consumes you. But if you actually fall in love with someone else, then in the same way, if we develop a higher taste, if we develop a love and affection for Krishna, then the lower taste automatically will disappear. Srila Gurudev told that. How can you give up the lower taste without a higher taste? And why would you even want to? If you don't have that higher taste, or if you're not being inspired to run after that higher taste, then why would you want to give up that lower taste? And how could you give it up? But when you hear the sweet pastimes of Krishna in the association with those who are truly tasting, like our Srila Gurudev, Srila Prabhupada, Srila Goswamipada Maharaj, so many stalwart Vaishnavas who are truly tasting those sweet pastimes of Krishna, being in their association, then gradually and naturally we want what they have. Yes, I want to receive what you are experiencing, what you are tasting. I can see that you're experiencing so much nectar at every step. Purna Amrita Ashvadanam. I can see that you're tasting that nectar at every step, and I also want to experience even a drop of that. Like our Gurudev when we were in South Africa, in the Gandhi Hall in Johannesburg. At that time, he only spoke for a couple of minutes, and he was just completely amazing. He quoted 2 shloks, Kasturi Tilakam Lalata Patale Vakshastale Kaushtabham and Barhapidam Natabarapu Karnayor Karnikaram. Beautiful, beautiful verses glorifying the beauty of Krishna. And you could see him, it was like he was just about to burst into tears. And he said, you have not seen how beautiful is Krishna. You have not seen. He said, if you could collect all of the beauty in the entire universe into one point, that would not even equal 1 particle of dust on the feet of Krishna. How beautiful is Krishna. How beautiful is Krishna. And those eyes that have not seen this beauty of Krishna as he's walking to the forest in the morning with his friends, those eyes are completely useless. They are useless and they should be set on fire, he said. But when he was speaking that, you could understand that he was experiencing something and it was real. And at that moment, the entire crowd began spontaneously, automatically just burst into awesome, amazing, raptured applause. They were just like this. It was just amazing witnessing Gurudev in that mood like that. To see him trying to calculate, but just like if you got all of the beauty in the entire universe, it wouldn't even equal a particle of dust on the feet of Krishna. How beautiful is Krishna. We cannot conceive of such a thing. We cannot conceive of such a thing. So, that kind of person who's explaining this Rasalila, this section of Srimad Bhagavatam to us, if we have faith and regard, then this will be the cure for the disease of lust in our heart. And it is necessary to hear this from the right source. If someone's heart is full of lust, they have studied the Rasalila section of Srimad Bhagavatam. Oh, it's getting late. And they want to make money, they want to impress you, they want to bring tears to your eyes, they want to run circles around you, and they can quote all the shlokas beautifully, and they want to then take that pratishta, the glory that comes from it, and your wealth, your money, your wife or your daughter or whatever, and live it up lavishly. This is not the kind of person we should hear from. Those persons who have ulterior motives. All of our Guru Varga have warned us, be careful for that. Because if you hear that same subject from those persons whose hearts are full of lust, it will increase lust in our hearts. But if you hear it from those persons who are completely free from the lust, from any attraction to anything in this material world, whose hearts are permanently bound to the lotus feet of Krishna, in transcendental love and affection, who are constantly experiencing that higher taste, that supreme nectar of Krishna Bhakti Ras, if we take shelter of those persons and hear from them, then automatically, naturally, in their association, following under their guidance, following their instructions and serving them, that disease of lust will begin to disappear. We don't even need to think about it. We will begin to run on that path of bhakti. As Gurudev said, hold my little finger and don't let go. Srila Gurudev ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Rupana Guru Varga ki jai, Gaura Bhaktivinoda ki jai, Madhav ki Ekadashi ki jai, Radha Damodar Jhulan Yatra ki jai, Gaura Bhaktivinoda ki jai, Gaura Premanande Hari Hari Bol. Where's mine?
It's in front of the harmonium.
It fell. Oh. Okay. Hare Krishna, Hare गिरिराज महाराज की जय। हरिनाम संकीर्तन की जय। हरे कृष्ण महामंत्र की जय। माधव की एकादशी की जय। राधा दामोदर झूलन यात्र की जय। गौर भक्त वृंद की जय। निताय गौर प्रेमानंदे हरि हरि। गोविंद नाम धर्मानवेति गोविंद नाम
Haribo.
So thank you very much for being with us today and giving us the opportunity to remember the beautiful teachings of our Srila Gurudev and Guru Varga. We look forward to being with all of you tomorrow. We will endeavor to remember some of the glories of Srila Rupa Goswamipada. So, thank you again. Dandavat pranam.
Dandavat pranams. Radhe Radhe.
Radhe.